Welcome back, viewers. You're watching WION The World is One. I'm Shivan Channa. This is Speed News. Let's get started. With the Putin-Trump summit set to take place in Anchorage on Friday, President Donald Trump threatened severe consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to peace in Ukraine. While Trump did not specify what the consequences could be, he has warned of economic sanctions if his meeting with Putin in Alaska on Friday proves fruitless. Trump also said that a meeting between them could swiftly be followed by a second one that would include the leader of Ukraine as well. European leaders and Zelensky had earlier spoken with Trump in a last-ditch call hosted by Germany to lay out red lines ahead of the Alaska meeting. The Anchorage temporary flight restriction will take effect on Friday as announced by the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA). The airspace limitation will be actively enforced by the North American Aerospace Defense Command to ensure compliance and maintain security. Italy's government received 114 Palestinian evacuees from Gaza on Wednesday night. These included 31 children in need of medical assistance. According to the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the young patients are all affected either by severe injuries and amputations or serious congenital diseases. The Italian Air Force flew the evacuees over in 3 C-130 cargo airplanes from the southern city of Eilat in Israel. Israel is reportedly in talks with South Sudan about the possibility of resettling Palestinians from the Gaza Strip to the country. The Telegraph reported that South Sudan's cabinet has agreed to receive Palestinians from Gaza following a request from Israel. Quoting sources, the Telegraph reported that the South Sudan government had approved the request as part of a deal which also involved the US and United Arab Emirates. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang will visit India next week on the 18th of August to hold talks with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. The visit by the Chinese official marks another step towards improving bilateral ties in recent months between India and China. Wang is set to visit for the special representative level talks with NSA Doval, in which they will discuss the boundary dispute along the line of actual control. This will be the first high-level visit from China after the India-Pakistan hostilities following Operation Sindoor. The development has come at a time when India and China have taken a series of steps to improve their relationship in recent months. Later, Prime Minister Modi later this month will visit China to attend the SCO summit, the first such visit by the Indian Prime Minister to China since the 2020 Galwan clashes, after which India-China ties nosedived. The Enforcement Directorate questioned former India cricketer Suresh Raina for more than 8 hours in its money laundering probe against illegal online betting platforms. The agency also recorded Raina's statement under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for allegedly endorsing a sports betting app which was involved in illegal practices. Residents in one Washington, D.C. protested the increased police presence after the White House said the number of National Guard troops in the nation's capital would ramp up and federal officers would be on the streets round the clock. After law enforcement set up a vehicle checkpoint along the busy 14th Street Northwest corridor, protesters chanted slogans and some stood at the intersection before the checkpoint and urged drivers to turn away. In Virginia, 3 sheriff's deputies were injured in gunfire while executing warrants on Wednesday. The county sheriff said that the warrants were for brandishing a firearm and trespassing, and that there was an hours-long standoff. The suspected shooter is now in custody. Kim Jong-un's influential sister, Kim Yo-jong, said that Pyongyang has rebuffed a recent reconciliatory overture by South Korea. She denied Seoul's military claim that the North has removed some propaganda loudspeakers along the inter-Korean border. Kim Yo-jong, in a statement, said that North Korea has neither removed any border area loudspeakers targeting Seoul nor has any intention to do so. Bolivian presidential candidate Samuel Doria Medina, a frontrunner in recent polls, concluded his campaign in El Alto. The city is traditionally seen as a stronghold for former President Evo Morales. During the rally, Doria Medina pledged to resolve the country's severe economic crisis marked by escalating food prices and fuel shortages within 100 days if elected. The current economic downturn, widely considered the worst in 4 decades, has weakened the ruling movement for Socialism Party. In Indonesia, protesters clashed with police over tax hikes around 460 kilometers east of the capital, Jakarta. Demonstrators gathered to protest over a local leader's plan to raise property taxes by 250%, though the plan has now been scrapped. Angry demonstrators gathered outside the residence of the local government leader, known as a regent. Police fired water cannons to prevent protesters from storming the residence. A Peruvian judge ordered the pre-trial detention for former President Martin Vizcarra for allegedly taking bribes while he was governor more than a decade ago. At the hearing, judge ordered Vizcarra to be held for 5 months, making him the 5th former Peruvian president to be jailed in recent years. Vizcarra is accused of allegedly receiving $611,000 in bribes in exchange for 2 construction projects. In a recent incident in Florida, a crane crashed into a house, causing significant damage. No injuries to the occupants of the house have been reported. The homeowner was reportedly in his driveway watching crew members replace a utility pole behind his house when the crane unexpectedly toppled over. The cause of the accident remains unclear. Mexico has sent more than 24 suspected cartel members to the U.S. amid rising pressure from President Donald Trump on Mexico to dismantle the country's powerful drug organizations. Mexico said the U.S. Department of Justice had requested that extradition and that it would not seek the death penalty for the accused cartel members. The transfer is the second of its kind this year. In February, Mexican authorities sent 29 alleged cartel leaders to the U.S. that sparked a debate about the political and legal grounds for such a move. Heavy rain lashed several parts of Delhi and the surrounding national capital region in the wee hours. According to the India Meteorological Department, thunderstorm accompanied with rain is likely at isolated places in the capital city. The Met Department says the maximum temperature is expected to be around 34 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature is likely to hover around 25 degrees Celsius. While the early morning spell brought reprieve from humidity, waterlogging and traffic snarls were witnessed in areas including Minto Bridge, Vijay Chowk and Nizamuddin flyover. In Uttar Pradesh, heavy rains since last night have disrupted transport and resulted in waterlogging in several areas in Lucknow, including the Ashiana area. The district magistrate has ordered all government and private schools in Lucknow from classes 1 to 12th to remain closed due to inclement weather conditions. The weather department said on Wednesday that monsoon activity is set to intensify over the next 48 hours in Uttar Pradesh, driven by a low pressure area over the Bay of Bengal. Tropical storm Podal drenched Hong Kong as the weather department issued its highest level black rainstorm warning. Medical authorities announced that outpatient clinics across Hong Kong would shut until the black rainstorm warning is lifted. The Postal Service said that it would also suspend operations due to the downpour. In Tennessee, a mother, father and child were killed when a tree fell on their car during heavy rain and flooding. The three were killed when saturated ground caused a large tree to fall in the suburb of East Ridge just after midnight. Authorities said submerged roads also led to dramatic rescues of people trapped in their cars.
These teenagers are not there. On 614 Clemens Road, can you re-advise the party count?
Satellite images captured between Sunday and Wednesday, that is between 10th and 13th of August, show wildfires raging across southern Europe, Turkey and Syria. Maxar imagery show wildfires on the islands of Chios and Zakynthos in Greece and Italy's Mount Vesuvius, as well as active fires near Transcoso, Portugal. Mexico City launched the 20th edition of the Mexican Torta Fair on Wednesday. The event commenced with the unveiling of what organizers claim is the world's largest torta that measures 90 meters long and weighs over 1 ton. More than 90 national and international vendors collaborated to create this massive sandwich using over 50 specially chosen ingredients. Australia's Human Rights Commissioner Lorraine Findlay has warned that artificial intelligence could entrench racism and sexism if not properly regulated. According to Findlay, productivity gains from AI must not come at the cost of discrimination and has called for new legislative guardrails, including bias testing, auditing and human oversight. The issue is under discussion within the Labour Party ahead of the federal government's economic summit, which will examine productivity gains from AI alongside concerns over copyright privacy and bias. Media and arts groups have raised alarms over potential intellectual property theft if tech companies use local content for AI training. Russia has started restricting some Telegram and WhatsApp calls, accusing the foreign-owned platforms of failing to share misinformation with law enforcement in fraud and terrorism cases. The move comes amid long-running clashes with foreign tech firms intensified after the Ukraine invasion. President Vladimir Putin has authorized the development of a state-backed messaging app integrated with government services as Moscow seeks to establish what it calls digital sovereignty by promoting homegrown services and reducing its dependence on platforms such as WhatsApp and Telegram. According to the Digital Development Ministry, Telegram and WhatsApp had ignored repeated requests to take measures to stop their platforms being used for activities such as fraud and terrorism. The US dollar slipped to a two-week low as traders bet on Federal Reserve rate cuts next month, with odds of a half-point move rising to 7% from 0 a week ago. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent signaled a 50 basis point cut, which was possible after weak US jobs data, while Goldman Sachs sees 3 cuts this year. Wall Street hit fresh records, Asia stocks were mixed, and Bitcoin climbed past a new peak. Gold climbed, while oil steadied ahead of Friday's Trump-Putin summit on Ukraine. Trump has threatened severe consequences if no peace deal is reached, while warning of more tariffs on China after hitting India with a 25% levy over Russian oil imports. The Indian rupee is set to remain steady, holding on to Wednesday's sharp rebound driven by a softer US dollar and position unwinding. Traders remain cautious ahead of Friday's high-stakes Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska, which could influence global markets and India-US trade ties. The meeting follows Trump's doubling of tariffs on Indian goods to 50%, the highest alongside Brazil, citing Russian oil imports. Analysts warn the hike could hurt key export sectors. A peace deal in Ukraine could boost the rupee, while a confrontational outcome may renew selling pressure. Investors are betting on a higher for longer interest rate path in the Eurozone, with markets seeing a possible ECB rate cut in March as a short-lived move before borrowing costs stay above 2%. Confidence in Germany's massive fiscal boost and easing US-EU trade tensions has prompted banks like Goldman Sachs to call an end to the ECB's current easing cycle. Market indicators suggest rates could stay near the neutral range or even tighten if inflation remains above target. The euro is up nearly 3% this month as traders expect the US Fed to cut rates while the ECB holds steady. Foxconn, the world's largest contract electronics maker, is expected to report an 11% rise in quarterly profit, driven by surging demand for AI servers for clients like Nvidia, alongside steady iPhone assembly for Apple. The company recently posted record quarterly revenue but warned of geopolitical and currency headwinds. Most US-bound iPhones are now made in India, with new AI server plants in Mexico and Texas. Foxconn is also expanding into EVs, data centers, and new manufacturing partnerships. Shares are up 7.9% this year, outpacing Taiwan's benchmark index.